Recently, the Union Cabinet has approved nutrient-based subsidy rates for various nutrients of Rabi and Kharif season. Recently, the Union Cabinet Minister has approved nutrient-based subsidy rates for various nutrients of Rabi and Kharif season 2022 to 23. For Rabi season 2022 to 23, NBS or nutrient-based subsidy approved for various nutrients like NPK and sulfur. They are the primary nutrients. NPK are the primary nutrients. And also for sulfur, Rabi season, the nutrient-based subsidy is approved. Okay. For Kharif season, NBS rates approved for phosphatic and potassium fertilizers. Now, what is Rabi? What is Kharif? Any other season left? Yes. What is in between? Rabi and Kharif between is Said. Okay. So, these are the cropping seasons. Kharif season, Rabi season and Said. Okay. Now, we will discuss about the cropping seasons in brief before going to nutrient-based subsidy. Why? Because we will be mentioning Kharif crop, this is for Rabi crop, etc. Continuously. So I don't want you to get confused. That's the only reason why we are discussing this. Okay. For Kharif crops. Kharif crops means sown during the southwest monsoon season are called Kharif crops or monsoon crops. Okay. That means they are in the monsoon season, monsoon crops. Okay. These crops are sown at the beginning of the season around the end of May to early June. And they are harvested post the monsoon. They are, we are planting them or we are sowing them from May to early June, and post monsoon they are harvested nearly in the beginning of October. Okay. Kharif means monsoon crops. Monsoon usually refers to southwest monsoon in case of India. Okay. Now, what are the major crops involved in which are Kharif? You need to remember this. Rice, maize, pulses such as urad dal, moong dal, millets are among the key Kharif crops. Okay. Rice, maize, pulses and millets are the main Kharif crops. Okay. Now, next season is Rabi. Rabi season means winter crops. We talked about Kharif season, that Kharif is during the southwest monsoon, right? When the monsoon returns, southwest monsoon returns as northwest monsoon or retreating monsoon, right? That is the time when Rabi crops are planted. So that is the reason why they are known as winter crops. Okay. Those are sown around the retreating monsoon and northwest monsoon season, which begins by October. In the beginning of October, we are harvesting the Kharif crops. So after that, in October, we are planting this thing, sowing this thing. Okay, they are the Rabi crops. The harvest for these crops happens typically during the April and May, during the summer season. So major Rabi crop are wheat. You should not confuse with this. Kharif crop is rice. Rabi is wheat. Okay. Gram, peas, barley, etc. It requires a lot of water. Okay. This is not here. This is in the other one. Okay. That is the reason why in monsoon we are cultivating Kharif crops. Kharif crops because monsoon it will get enough water. So this one is not in this slide. Okay. Okay. So Rabi crops means we have discussed about two cropping seasons. One is Kharif and one is Rabi. Kharif means monsoon. Rabi means winter. Kharif monsoon means we are sowing it during the southeast monsoon. Okay. So we are planting it from by early May to June time, and we are harvesting it by October. And the best example is rice. Okay, millets, etc. Now, The next one is rabi crops. Rabi crops means it is in the retreating back monsoon. Okay. So when the monsoon wind goes like this, that is southwest monsoon, we have kharif. When the monsoon wind returns or the northwest monsoon, we have northeast monsoon, we have rabi. Okay. The example of rabi is rice, urad dal, etc. Wheat, barley, urad dal, etc. Okay. Now, in between them is the Said. Okay. Said crops are in between the Rabi and Kharif. They are sown and harvested between March to July, between the Rabi and Kharif. Said crops are usually used as animal fodders, fodder crops, seasonal fruits, vegetables, etc. Clear? These are the 3 cropping seasons. Now, back to our topic, nutrient-based subsidy scheme. So, what is nutrient-based subsidy scheme? Under the NBS regime, fertilizers are provided to the farmers at subsidized rates based on the nutrients contained in these fertilizers. Okay, NPK. We know that one of the most important, highest subsidy is given for urea in case of fertilizers. Overall, food subsidy. Food subsidy is the highest one. Second highest is nutrient-based subsidy. Okay. Also, the fertilizers which are fortified with secondary and micronutrients. So, as I said, primary nutrients are NPK, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Secondary nutrients include other nutrients like molybdenum, zinc, etc. Okay, they are given additional subsidy. The subsidy on phosphate and potassium fertilizer is announced by the government on annual basis for each nutrient on per kilogram basis. Okay. So nutrient-based subsidy is decided based on the nutrient content in the fertilizer. NPK is the major primary fertilizer or nutrient present in the fertilizer, and along with it, sulfur is also considered. Okay, secondary, then comes the secondary nutrients in which molybdenum, zinc, etc. are also given additional subsidy. Okay, the subsidies are usually decided on an annual basis by the government. Okay, now some criteria or events are taken into consideration when the subsidy is calculated. Determine taking in account the international and domestic prices of P&K fertilizers, exchange rate, inventory level in the country, etc. What is the leftover from the last? That is the inventory. Okay, inventory level, what is the exchange rate of the currency? What is the international and domestic prices of the fertilizers, etc. are considered while deciding the price of the fertilizer or subsidy. Okay. NBS policy intends to increase the consumption of P&K fertilizers so that optimum balance of the NPK fertilizer is achieved. Optimum balance, by meaning of optimum balance, we means that 4:2:1 is the ratio, okay, of NPK. 4 parts of nitrogen, 2 parts of phosphate, and 1 part of potassium. This is the majorly given or majorly considered subsidy or fertilizer nutrient ratio in the fertilizer. It is being implemented from April 2010 by Department of Fertilizers, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Clear? Now we will discuss about the significance of the NBS, nutrient-based subsidy. First one is availability of subsidized P&K fertilizers will ensure the availability of DAP and other P&K fertilizers to farmers at subsidized, affordable and reasonable prices during the Kharif season. Kharif season, which season? Monsoon season. Okay. This is essential to support the agricultural. So in the monsoon season, we will get enough fertilizers which contain potassium, potassium and phosphate. Okay. So in the last current affair classes, we discussed about diammonium phosphate. In what context? Okay. Nano diammonium phosphate was produced by the IFF co, that is indigenized production of nano DAP was initiated. That is the reason why we discussed it. Okay. So in the Kharif season, DAP will be getting abundantly, which contain abundant amount of potassium and phosphate. Okay. Now, NBS subsidy is crucial for effective resource allocation and ensuring that subsidies are directed towards the farmers who need them the most, promoting efficient and sustainable agricultural practices. Like every schemes in the country, we always tell that one of the challenges is exclusion and inclusion errors. Even when we studied regarding urea fertilizer, urea subsidy, I remember we talked about inclusion and exclusion errors. Okay, so some farmers who need subsidized fertilizers are usually excluded. Okay, meaning they will not get the adequate amount of fertilizer in a subsidized amount quantity. Okay, so when farmers are not able to have enough fertilizers on their own, they can get benefit of this NBS subsidy. Why? The farmers will have ability to get more fertilizers and to develop their agriculture. Now, we talked about the significance. Significance is that by NBS subsidy, we can have abundant nutrient content in the fertilizers, and also it will help farmers to develop their agriculture and increase their yield. Thus, by increasing their yield, they could increase their income. Okay, this was the significance of nutrient-based subsidy. Then now we will address the concerns of a nutrient-based subsidy. First concern is economic and environmental. Okay, first concern is economic and environmental. As we know that subsidy means government is taking the debt, or the government is taking the load, burden, meaning economically there will be economic cost or high financial burden on the government. It will indirectly affect the other beneficial schemes by the government as well. Okay, so imposes significant financial burden on the economy. As I said, it ranks the second largest subsidy after food subsidy. Okay. Second one is environmental cost. Similar to urea, when we give something for subsidized, there will be a tendency to overuse. Right? Overuse means when in case of soil erosion or when heavy rain comes, they get distributed into the nearby water resources, etc. Right? So this will lead to environmental concerns. So adverse environmental consequences such as soil degradation, nutrient runoff, impacting long-term agricultural sustainability, etc. is another concern. Okay. Next one is black marketing and diversion. Subsidized urea is susceptible to black marketing and diversion. It's sometimes illegally sold to bulk buyers, traders, or non-agricultural users like plywood and animal feed manufacturers. Okay, like every aspect of the society or every economic criteria, this one is also capable or is possibility of black marketing and diversion. Okay, so that the actual farmers who are in need of this is not getting that. Okay, next one is similar to black marketing and diversion, leakages and misuse. This is one of the drawback in efficient distribution system. NBS regime relies on efficient distribution system to ensure that subsidized fertilizers reach the intended beneficiaries. As I said before regarding the exclusion and inclusion errors. Okay. However, there may be instances of leakage and misuse where subsidized fertilizers do not reach the farmers or are used for non-agricultural practices. Clear? Another important concern is regarding the regional disparity. Okay. See, NBS means it is a country-wide, all over the country it's applicable. Okay. The farmers all over the country can get this much fertilizers containing this much nutrients in this much amount. That is the subsidized amount or NBS subsidy. Okay. There may be regional disparity in the soil conditions as well. Some soil will be higher in nitrogen. Some area soil will be higher in potassium. Okay. So there lies a differential need in the nutrients and fertilizers as well. But when we are providing something uniform across the country, there lies a problem with this. Okay. So their agricultural practices, soil conditions, and crop nutrient requirements vary across different regions of the country. Implementing a uniform NBS regime may not adequately address the specific needs and regional disparities, potentially leading to suboptimal nutrient application and productivity variations. Clear? We are getting subsidy for the same fertilizer throughout the country. But in some place, if some other nutrient is lacking, we are not getting that, then what is the need of it? Okay. So the agricultural practices, soil conditions, if some person is cultivating millet is a agricultural crop which needs only less water, less nutrients, etc. Okay, so they are not in need of all the other kinds of nutrients in much higher rate. So they can contribute or they can divert this amount to other purposes as well. Okay, that possibility is not used under this, or they are not getting under this. Okay. Okay. So we discussed about some of the concerns. One of the concerns was exclusion and inclusion errors. Okay, black marketing and hoarding as one of the concerns regarding this. Next one was financial economic burden and environmental concerns. Financial burden mainly in case of government, and environmental concerns due to soil degradation, soil erosion, depositing in further water bodies, etc. Environmental concern is another thing. Next one is regional disparity. Regional disparity, we can say that different parts of the country has different types of agriculture, different types of nutrient requirement, etc. But by introducing a uniform nutrient subsidies scheme, we are lacking this diversification, or we are not addressing this diversity. Okay. Now, what can be done? What is the way forward? Now, so a uniform policy for all fertilizers is necessary, as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are crucial for crop yield and quality. Okay. So NPK, that is the primary nutrients. So at least for that nutrients, we need to have a uniform policy for all fertilizers. Okay. Next one is subsidy should encompass value added and customized products that provide efficient nitrogen delivery and other essential nutrients. Okay. Sometimes, as I said before, the nutrients could be overused since they are getting in the subsidized form. Okay. Subsidized form means reduced amount. So they could be overused. There are chances of overusing. That is the reason why the environmental concerns regarding the fertilizers are occurring. Okay. So there need to be a possibility that value added, like example, more innovations, nano urea, etc. Okay, they are the value added products and innovative products which will reduce the amount of fertilizers required for the same amount of crop yield which are getting, or crop yield which are required only in lesser amount. Okay, these substances are only required in lesser amount to produce more crop yield compared to conventional fertilizers. Okay, in long term, NBS could be replaced by a flat per acre cash subsidy that allows farmers to purchase any fertilizer. This will address the regional disparity. How? So regional disparity, we said that there may be different needs for different areas due to different cultural practices, nutrient availability, etc. Okay, if we are giving the cash payment or cash subsidy to the other fertilizers to the farmers, then this could also be reduced. Okay, so similar to that, like that of the DBT. Okay.